guys, my name is Samara and this is the 5th episode of Higher. As you might know, we have visited a lot of schools across Cape Town, spreading the message of hope through music. But sadly, we could not do that due to the pandemic. So, you know what? We brought it to you guys online. I hope that you enjoyed our previous episodes, talks, performances, and words of encouragement. But without further ado, why don't you put your hands together for the one and only Leo Rens.
Yeah. Hey, hey, yeah, I've been doing the most, yeah. I've been cutting it close, yeah. I've been doing these things, but I'm just letting you know. Say, I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. I feel like hitting the road, but I'm just letting you know that I've been doing the most. I've been doing the most since I was 7 years old. Yeah, it's been left unsaid so long, but now I'm breaking the mold. I've been trying to get over this bridge to express the fact that I've been left in a mess. Feeling the less, but I'm doing my best. Hey, I had to take the shot that I had it in the bag, but like the rush mentality, you see me bouncing back. You see, failure's inevitable, although it's overrated. Yes, we tried dating once, but man, that turned into hatred. It's kinda complicated, and now with more than this, I've got more bars to occupy your time than an omnibus. And we don't always see the fruit in the finished product. Sometimes it turns it like Eden, and we get evicted from it. Hey, I've been cutting it close, yeah. I've been doing these things, but I'm just letting you know. Yeah, I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. I feel like hitting the road, but I'm just letting you know that I've been doing the most. You see, the grind should never stop, like that's the only way. But what happens when you need a turnaround in a one way? This is feeling like a Sunday or mid-July on a cold day, getting up at 5 a.m. to go grind, but with no pay, although practice makes perfect. Through passion we find purpose. Work my fingers to the bone with no result. Nothing is certain, like a rug pulled out from under me so easily or seamlessly. Man, what's the cost of life? Currently there's no currency, and most of us are trying to be something our folks are proud to see, and that's a good and well, until you're running late and lose your key. And sometimes life is tough, it gets so much like Murphy's Law. I might be down in my luck. Strike two, play ball. I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. Yeah, I've been doing these things, but I'm just letting you know. Yeah, I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. I feel like hitting the road, but I'm just letting you know that I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. Yeah, I've been doing these things, but I'm just letting you know that I've been doing the most. I've been cutting it close. I feel like hitting the road, but I'm just letting you know that I've been doing the most. Doing the most, cutting it close. Hey. Yeah, yeah, doing the most, cutting it close, doing these things, letting you know, doing the most, doing the most, cutting it close. You can guess what happened, but then time passed by. Like 3 years later, my image was transformed by what he was saying. He spoke to so many people. Shout out to Amplified. And after 16 years of waiting, man, I finally got baptized. Cause my mindset blurry, vision became clear. To see who you are in Christ, so start reflecting. And now the mindset is gone, the insecurity's gone. Oh, by the grace of God, can never do this on my own. So I'm just trying to be the best version that I can be. See, if the world is an oyster, then Christ has to be the seed. Hey, we live in a world full of deceit. Everybody trying to prevent me, but I'll be me.
I'll be me, yeah. Glasses, what happened? I'll be me. Yes, I'll be me. I'll be me. Glasses, what happened? Yeah.
If time heals all wounds, I'll wait for the day. I'll put a bandage on my face, say it'll all be be okay. Forced to sit in front of the class, the back of an Uber. Time usually doesn't wait, but I can't wait any longer. Like a zipline and parachute, I'll keeping on. My other choices are the plummet who hit the ground running. For a while I've been gunning for success in my life. I've got the one to them now, they keep Tony and Chase. It's hard to see my future, let alone what is next. I guess the framework on my face is my faith aspect. And now we way down the road, and things are looking different. Is this a new prescription or an accurate depiction of the life I would have chosen? I'ma have to say no. Then again, y'all are making the same TikToks at home, man. Sorry for the shade, the effects on my tree. Let's take it back to the simple days in Adam and Eve, yeah.
I'll be me.
Yo, in Adam and Eve, yeah. Hey, a big skin with glasses, I bet you can guess what happened. That's it, it's my vision, but it's always been his framework for my life. And I guess what happened.
You can see it, and I ran home to see my struggles, what I've been through. But it won't make me change.
Framework.
Hey guys, how are you doing? My name is Luxolo. Today I want to speak about hope, especially hope in these very difficult and terrifying times. There's so many things in our lives that leave us disheartened. Family members, school, missed opportunities, funerals, death, separation, failed expectations. There's so many things that get to us. What happens when stuff like that happens so often that you don't even know what to do? I'm sure there are days where you wish tomorrow would just not come because you're still dealing with today's mishappenings. There's something that I do. I try run to God. I try run to these specific scriptures that massage the truths of God in my life. Psalm 121 is one of those psalms. It's this psalm that kind of just makes me have peace when there's such restlessness, there's so much pain, there's so much hurt, there's so much disappointment. I'm sure you've had times and days in your life when you don't want to speak to God. Times and days in your life when you doubt God. Maybe you've doubted God all your life because so many bad things happen that you can't reconcile that there's such a good God. But actually, Psalm 129, it brings us to this place. It's this time when the people of Israel walk up to the hilltops of Jerusalem. Psalm 129 is basically part of the Psalms where it's called the Songs of Ascent. Basically, there will be once a year when the people of Israel would walk up to the top of Jerusalem to go and meet God. But during this time, there'll be so many things that would happen. One family would meet another family, and bad things could happen on that journey. It could be the fact that families will come together and share all the bad things that happen. Usually that's what happens when you meet people. You always tell them the bad things that are happening so that they kind of feel bad for you. Or on that journey towards Jerusalem, what will happen is this: people die. People's foot might slip. Maybe the sun would kind of burn people. So we kind of get this picture of people walking up to the top of Jerusalem in a weather that they don't like, in conditions that they do not like. Psalms 121 does this. Let's read it. It says, "I lift up my eyes to the mountain. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and on earth." And I just want to focus on those two verses. Those two verses kind of bring us to these two different places. It's kind of help or surrender. You see, you can look at the mountain and you can get two pictures of the mountain. The first picture is this place that the mountain is a very dangerous place. Why? Because every year people would walk up to the top of Jerusalem and many things could happen on the way there. Or the mountain could be a place where you see it as a place of finding your strength and finding your hope. So basically, when bad things happen in our lives, what is needed is perspective. Not kind of more ideologies or more theology, but a perspective that God is still here and that God could work things out. And they sing this. Remember, they're not just, kind of just saying it one time. They are singing and they say, I will lift up my eyes to the mountain. Where does my help come from? And they answer themselves, my help comes from the maker of heaven and of earth. That God is interested in every single detail of your life as much as He's interested in everything else that happens in this world. So when bad things happen, our help comes from God and from God alone. When things don't go the way that we want them to, our help comes from God. When we don't want to, we could also sing the song like the people of Israel, the nation of Israel. I will lift up my eyes to the mountain, because that is where my help comes from.
Incredible performance from Leo Rens, an incredible word from Luxolo. We love you guys so much, fam. So see you guys on next week's episode of Higher Live.